American Standardbred. The American Standardbred, another one of RDR2's racing horses. Stats sit around 4 to 5 speed, 3 to 4 acceleration, 3 to 4 health, and 3 to 4 stamina. Quick, agile, and lean, but not exactly breaking into the top league. These horses are made for speed, great stamina, solid acceleration, and they can keep up a fast pace for a long stretch. Perfect for short-distance travel, or those combat moments where Arthur needs to outpace bounty hunters on horseback. But still, even at their best, Standardbreds still pale in comparison to the game's true top-tier breeds. They come in 4 coats: Palomino Dapple, Silvertail Buckskin, Black, and Buckskin. The Palomino Dapple and Silvertail Buckskin are stable-bought, while the Black and Buckskin are wild catches. The Silvertail Buckskin is the strongest of the bunch, but don't expect it to suddenly transform into a Missouri Fox Trotter. Gameplay-wise, think of them as the budget racer. Great for speed, not so great if you actually want durability to go with it. Now, in real life, Standardbreds have some serious racing heritage. They're best known for harness racing, trotting or pacing in competitions across the US and worldwide. Their bloodlines go back to the 18th century England, with foundation stock coming from breeds like the Narragansett Pacer, Canadian Pacer, Thoroughbred, Norfolk Trotter, Hackney, and Morgan. The real cornerstone? A thoroughbred stallion named Messenger, foaled in England in 1780 and imported to the US in 1788. But the true legend was his great-grandson, Hambletonian 10, foaled in 1849. This horse basically became the godfather of the Standardbred breed. He sired over 1,300 foals, and 40 of them could trot a mile in under 2 minutes 30 seconds. You can think of them like picking a mid-tier car in GTA. It'll get the job done, but you're not winning pink slips with it. Solid racer, but not endgame material. American paint. The American paint. The horse that proves fashion really does matter. Stats: 3 speed, 3 acceleration, 3 health, and 4 to 5 stamina. So yeah, not exactly a speed demon, but what it lacks in raw power, it makes up for in stamina. And in looking like it just walked out of a cowboy fashion show. American paints are robust workhorses. They're built to take on pretty much any job. Stamina for days, average speed and health, and a reputation for being intelligent and easy to care for. Arthur will get along with them just fine. Though, to be real, a horse's personality doesn't affect stats in RDR2. It just means taming one in the wild won't feel like wrestling a Dark Souls boss. What really makes paints stand out are those coats. Overo and Tobiano patterns show up commonly in the wild, but there's also a rare splashed white coat wandering the map, if you're lucky enough to find it. And if you're patient, the gray Overo is up for purchase after the first epilogue. Now, in real life, the American paint horse share ancestry with the American quarter horse and the thoroughbred, carrying that muscular, low-to-the-ground build with powerful hindquarters for bursts of acceleration. Back then, when the American Quarter Horse Association formed in 1940, they excluded horses with spotted coats. Fans of the colorful stock type weren't having it. So, in 1965, they merged organizations and formed the American Paint Horse Association to keep the breed alive and thriving. Hungarian Halfbred. The Hungarian Halfbred is basically the tank you can call in when a shootout's about to go south. Stats: 3 speed, 3 acceleration, 4 to 5 health, and 3 to 5 health, 4 stamina. So yeah, it's slow as molasses, but built like a medieval knight's DLC pack. When it comes to battle, a good warhorse is just as important as a trusty revolver. That's where this beast shines. It's strong, sturdy, and comes with a fearless personality that makes it perfect for combat. Sure, it's not outrunning bounty hunters anytime soon, but it'll happily plow through gunfire while Arthur reloads in style. Hungarian Halfbreds handle well too. Their large, heavy bodies don't stop them from reacting cleanly under pressure. The downside? They're not as healthy as other warhorses. Think of them as warhorse light. Coat-wise, you'll find flaxen chestnut and piebald Tobiano in the wild, while the dappled dark gray has to be bought at the stable. Now, in real life, the Hungarian Halfbred has some serious pedigree. Hungary started breeding them in the 1960s, blending Hanovers and Holsteins with local Furioso and Gidron stock. The Gidron line goes all the way back to 1816, starting with an Arabian stallion named Gidron Sr. His son, Gidron II, became the foundation sire of the breed, mixing Spanish and Arabian blood. Over time, thoroughbreds were added, creating a versatile horse with a powerful gallop, developed at Hungary's chief studs like Mesohagius, Kispur, and Kexkemet. Kispur even produced a Derby-winning horse in 1876. While Ketchkemet became known for crossbred driving horses with Lipizzaner and Trotter influence, halfbreds went on to excel in international four-in-hand driving competitions, racing not only for Hungary but also for Switzerland and Britain. So yeah, less racehorse, more armored truck with hooves. Mustang. Before Mustangs became the go-to car for midlife crises, they were actual horses. And they've also got an interesting history. Modern horses first came to the Americas with Spanish conquistadors. Columbus shipped them over to the West Indies in 1493. Cortés brought them to Mexico by 1519. And by 1598, Juan de Oñate had enough horses in Santa Fe to kickstart a whole breeding explosion. From just 75 animals, his herd grew into hundreds. And from there, wild Mustangs spread across the Southwest like equine squatters who never paid rent. That's how the Mustang earned its place as the symbol of untamed freedom. And in RDR2, that wild streak hasn't gone anywhere. Stats put them at 3 to 4 speed, 3 acceleration, 4 to 5 health, and 4 to 5 stamina. Not the flashiest, but rock solid across the board. Mustangs are versatile. Racing, they'll hold their own. Warhorse, they don't scare easily. Workhorse, they'll haul you through chores without a fuss. Basically, the Swiss Army knife of horses. But the catch here is that Mustangs are not just handed to you. You can't stroll into a stable and buy one. Arthur's got to find them in the wild. Grullo Dun, Wild Bay, and the rare Tiger Striped Bay. They spawn out west and south of Armadillo, but they're notorious for being stubborn to tame. Bringing one under your control feels less like buying a horse and more like unlocking an achievement. And once you do tame one, you've got yourself a fiercely loyal all-rounder. A horse that will stick with you no matter how dumb Arthur's next plan is. Dutch Warmblood. The Dutch Warmblood. Not the fastest horse in the stable, but if Arthur's looking for a dependable workhorse, this one's basically built like a four-legged tank. Stats sit at 3 to 4 speed, 3 acceleration, 4 to 5 health, and 5 to 6 stamina. Average in speed, average in health. But stamina, this thing's a marathon runner. They're sturdy, they're hardy, and surprisingly agile for their size. Need to haul cargo? Done. Long rides across the map without swapping horses? Easy. They're not show-offs, but once you've got one, you don't really need to replace it. The seal brown, sooty buckskin, and chocolate roan coats are all stable options. And if you want something special, there's a unique Cremello Dutch Warmblood you unlock after completing the Veteran side quest. Now, in real life, the Dutch Warmblood has its roots in the Netherlands. Before World War II, 2 regional breeds dominated. The heavier Groningen in the north and the more elegant Gelderlander in the south. The Groningen were chunky draft types, solid and strong. The Gelderlanders, flashier carriage horses with white markings and more refined looks. After World War II, tractors and cars started replacing workhorses, so breeders shifted gears. They imported French, Holsteiner, and Hanoverian bloodlines to reshape the Dutch stock into more versatile warmbloods. That led to the Royal Warmblood Horse Studbook of the Netherlands, the KWPN, which today covers multiple branches, from elegant carriage horses to Olympic-level show jumpers and dressage stars. Overall, his horse is the reliable workhorse. Basically, Arthur's version of a Toyota Hilux. Andalusian. The Andalusian. Slow legs, big guts, and basically Rockstar's idea of a medieval tank, dropped into the Wild West. Stats: 3 speed, 3 acceleration, 5 to 7 health, and 4 to 7 health, 5 stamina. With his beast, you're not outrunning anything, but you are outlasting everything. These horses are compact, sturdy, and powerful, genetically crafted for war. They don't spook easily, they handle well, and when things get messy, they're the kind of mount Arthur actually wants under him. The Rose Grey can be bought at Tumbleweed after the epilogue, the Perlino at Van Horn after Chapter 6, and the Dark Bay and Rose Grey are stable options too. Basically, if you've got the cash, the game will happily sell you one of these. Now regarding their history, it is just as badass. Andalusians trace their bloodline back to the Iberian Peninsula. Cave paintings show their ancestors as far back as 20,000 BCE. Celts, Romans, Arabs, Carthaginians, everyone who passed through Spain left their mark on these horses. By 450 BCE, they were already recognized as talented war horses. They even crossbred with the barb horses of North Africa, making them one of Europe's first warmbloods. Heavy strength mixed with agility. And then the monks got involved. By the 13th century, Carthusian monks were literally keeping stud books and running Andalusian breeding farms. Imagine guys in robes quietly copying scripture by candlelight, and also raising absolute battle horses. So yeah, historically, the Andalusian was a knight's ride. In RDR2, it's Arthur's answer to what if a grizzly shows up while I'm reloading. Not built for races, built for wars. Ardennes. Ardennes. If there is a short intro of these horses, I would say that these are relics of war history strapped to 4 legs. This breed's roots stretch all the way back to ancient Rome. Julius Caesar himself wrote about horses from Belgium in his Commentari de Bello Gallico, calling them rustic, hard, and tireless. Translation: the OG war horses. The Ardennes are even thought to descend from the prehistoric Solutre horse, bred on the Ardennes plains for over 2,000 years. Roman emperors used them in heavy cavalry, and later Napoleon added Arabian bloodlines to give them more stamina before marching them into his Russian campaign. Fast forward to the 19th century. Belgian draft blood gave the Ardennes its bulkier, heavy-set frame. That added size turned them into true draft monsters, though it came at the cost of some endurance. By 1929, they had their own breed registry, and today they're one of Europe's oldest documented heavy draft lines. In RDR2, we have stats like 3 speed, 3 acceleration, 7 health, and 5 stamina. Slower than Arthur writing in his journal, but absurdly tanky. The Bay Roan and Strawberry Roan coats are both stable buys. The Strawberry Roan costs $450, but it also packs the best health. Basically, you're paying extra for the horse equivalent of maxed out armor. Gameplay-wise, these are some of the most dependable war horses in the game. They don't spook, they don't fold under pressure, and they'll carry Arthur through chaos while he's out here dual-wielding like he's in Red Dead Warzone. So yeah, if you want speed, look elsewhere. But if you want the closest thing to mounting a medieval siege engine, the Ardennes is your horse. Slower than molasses, tougher than Caesar's cavalry. Missouri Fox Trotter. The Missouri Fox Trotter. Expensive as hell at $950, but honestly, worth every dollar of Arthur's blood money. Stats: 7 speed, 5 acceleration, 5 health, and 6 stamina. That makes it one of the rare hybrids in RDR2, both a racehorse and a workhorse rolled into one. It's fast, it's sturdy, and it doesn't burn out halfway through a ride. Basically, the definition of an endgame horse. Foxtrotters also have a lively gait, so Arthur doesn't bounce around like he's riding a pogo stick on long trips. They come in amber champagne and silver dapple pinto coats, both stabled, both looking slick enough to flex on your posse. Now, here's where it gets cooler. The breed was developed in Missouri from horses settlers brought over from Tennessee. Kentucky and Virginia mix in bloodlines from Arabians, Morgans, American saddlebreds, Tennessee Walkers, and Standardbreds. And you've got yourself a horse built for rocky Ozark terrain. By the 1800s, cattlemen loved them for their smooth gaits and versatility. By 1948, the Missouri Fox Trotting Horse Breed Association was founded, and by the 1950s, they were already being exported to Europe. Even the Queen of England imported a few. By 2002, they were named the official state horse of Missouri, and today there are tens of thousands registered worldwide. They've even got their own European Association and championship shows. So yeah, the Missouri Fox Trotter is the ultimate outlaw upgrade. If your wallet survives the price tag, Turkoman. The Turkoman, $950 of pure outlaw prestige. Stats: 6 speed, 5 acceleration, 7 health, and 5 stamina. Basically, it's Rockstar's way of saying, congrats, you've grinded enough money, here's your almost perfect horse. The Turkoman is another hybrid, fast enough to win races, tough enough to drag Arthur through wars, stamina for days, great handling, and the kind of health that lets you ride into chaos and still walk out smug. Its only flaw? Impatience. Leave it standing around too long and it starts acting like your little brother in a loading screen. Coats come in dark bay, gold, and silver. All are stable bought, all are gorgeous, and all will burn a hole in Arthur's wallet. But honestly, worth every cent. Now, history-wise, the Turkoman or Turkmen is an oriental horse breed straight out of the steppes of Central Asia. These things were endurance machines. Slender bodies, long muscular legs, and stamina that made them legends. Their influence is everywhere. The English thoroughbred? Yeah, that bloodline traces back to the Byerly Turk, one of the Turkoman stallions brought into Europe. Even the Achaltiket, the shiny metallic horse you've seen in reels, is considered a descendant. In fact, the Turkoman was so valuable that Ottoman stables in the 17th century treated them like royal treasures, breeding and trading them across Asia and Europe. Sadly, the original Turkoman has been declared extinct, but its DNA lives on in modern breeds. So yeah, in real life, they shaped racing history. In Red Dead Redemption 2, they're the second best horse you can own. Pricey? Absolutely. But once you've got one, it feels like Arthur just unlocked legendary gear tier. The golden middle ground, built for speed, built for war, and built to flex. Arabian. The Arabian is basically the crown jewel of RDR2. Stats: 6 speed, 6 acceleration, 5 to 7 health, and 5 to 7 stamina. And with elite handling, this thing rides smoother than Arthur's charm on a good honor run. Arabians are fiery and hard to tame, but once you do, they're the kind of companion you'll keep until the very end of the game. Fast, smart, insanely loyal, and the best all-around stats in RDR2. Basically, this is Rockstar's version of congrats, you've unlocked the final boss horse. Coats include the black and rose gray bay in stables, but the rare white Arabian? That's found wild, northwest of Lake Isabella, and taming it is a test of patience. Spook it once and you'll be chasing it through the snow like an idiot while Arthur cusses under his breath. Arabians aren't cheap either, $1,050 to $1,250 depending on the coat, which means you'll either be grinding missions or robbing trains like an equine-obsessed maniac just to afford one. Now for the history flex. The Arabian horse is one of the oldest breeds in the world, with roots tracing back over 3,000 years to the deserts of the Middle East. Distinctive head, high tail carriage, you can spot one instantly. They were prized by the Bedouins who even brought them inside tents for shelter. Bred for speed, endurance, and loyalty, they became the foundation for countless other horse breeds worldwide. Arabians shaped empires, carried warriors across continents, and were traded as treasures between kings and sultans. From ancient Egypt to the Ottoman Empire, these horses were literally currency, diplomacy, and prestige all in one. And in modern times, they dominate endurance riding and remain one of the most popular breeds on the planet. So yeah, historically legendary, globally adored, and genetically elite. In RDR2, they're exactly what you expect from the #1 spot. The best damn horse in the game. The white Arabian isn't just a horse, it's the flex that proves you've made it.